Hi everybody, my name is Abigail Skarowski, and these are my vision statements as I will hold to as I try to reach my full potential as an English as a second language teacher. In order to effectively teach English, I hope to intentionally teach not just the formal curriculum, but the hidden curriculum as well. Described by the Glossary of the Educational Reform as hidden because it is usually unacknowledged or unexamined by students, educators, and the wider community, the same source goes on to warn educators to be intentional in teaching the hidden curriculum, because the values and lessons reinforced in the hidden curriculum are also accepted as the status quo, and it might be assumed that these hidden practices and messages don't need to change. Therefore, I aim to be intentional in teaching my students more than simply just the curriculum, but the culture and the culture that goes along with the language I aim to teach as well. Children are incredibly perceptive, and therefore I plan to make it very apparent that my classroom is welcoming for my learners. Rather than having desks that confine my students for long hours, my classroom will have several stations designed for different types of learners. I plan to make the material culture in my classroom a blend of the culture of the United States as well as the culture that I plan to teach in. Blending these two material cultures will help my students learn the hidden curriculum and the culture behind the language I'm trying to teach. In an early childhood environment, it can be challenging to broach difficult topics such as bias and achievement gaps. However, this does not mean that difficult conversations should not happen. I intend to address both of these issues in 2 steps. The first step is addressing it with myself. Any bias I hold will be amplified in the classroom, which is unacceptable. The second step is helping my students understand what these terms mean, as well as how they impact each of our lives. With this understanding, I want my students to be moved to action and to help me create a team environment within our classroom that helps close the achievement gap by finding role models in the community around us and to eliminate bias by helping classmates hold other classmates accountable in eliminating this bias. When it comes to cultural conflict, teaching English along with the American culture abroad will inevitably bring about cultural conflict. I aim to diffuse this conflict by using empathy to help my students understand the two cultures. My students need to be able to view the cultures as different, not as better or worse. And with this mindset, I will help my students develop a critical eye as they review their culture and find injustices along the way. Every culture has them, and every culture can take measures to eradicate the injustices. I will help my students reflect on their culture in order to identify the areas of opportunity in both cultures. And pop culture surrounds us wherever we go. From social media to TV, it is a part of who we are. So why can't it be used as a tool in the classroom? Finding role models in pop culture and developing my students' ability to think critically about the people they see on TV, I can help leverage pop culture in my own classroom to help my students identify the good and the bad in people. I plan to use the good aspects of pop culture that my students can relate to in my classroom to help reinforce my hidden curriculum. The rituals in my classroom will also be a blend of pop culture and learning. From end of the day circle set up as Oscar nominations to encourage positive behavior to posting on our physical classroom wall observations at recess. I plan to integrate pop culture in my daily classroom routine. And last but not least, thank you so much for your time and for the opportunity to have learned so much over the course of this class. It's really been the highlight of my semester, and I've enjoyed learning from this course every minute. Thank you so much.